All right, good afternoon. It is 3:01 p.m. on Wednesday, October 16th, and this is a meeting of the Board of Library Trustees. Present today are our voting members, myself, Joanne Geneva, our Board Secretary, Peggy Bloom, and our Member-at-Large, Norma Baker. Our non-voting members present are Lena Sheldon, Youth Services Librarian, and Shannon Duffy, our Library Director. Our first order of business is to look over our previous meeting minutes from our meeting on Wednesday, September 11th. We had one correction or addition to the minutes so far, and that is in the paragraph about new business. The sentence now reads, "The trustees decided that in accordance with the ALA Bill of Rights, it should remain." We want to add and change that sentence to read, "The trustees decided that in accordance with our materials collection policy and the ALA Bill of Rights, it should remain." So I would invite any other members to make any kind of changes, and then we can vote on.
That sounds good to me.
Are there any other changes to anything?
No, everything else seemed fine.
Okay. In that case, I will make a motion that we accept the September 11th meeting minutes with the addition of the change as read a moment ago.
Second the motion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The minutes were accepted with the change unanimously. And so we will move on to our youth services report. Lena.
Hello. So in September, we held 12 children's programs with 112 people in attendance. And for upcoming programs, we have Baby Story Time on Tuesdays through November 19th, Wednesday Story Time on Wednesdays through November 20th, Thursday Story Time on Thursdays through November 21st, Music and Movement with Deb Hudgens on November 4th, our Voyager Princess Party on November 9th, and a visit with Glory on November 26th. And then for teen and tweens, we had 9 programs with 47 people in attendance. And for upcoming programs in November, we have D&D on Tuesdays through November 19th, an air dry clay pottery program on November 13th and November 20th, and a DIY fairy garden on November 21st.
I am so impressed with the number of people at the various programs. That's great. Are any of the upcoming programs for children or for tween and teen registration required?
Yes, so all the teen ones are, and then for the children's one, just the Voyager Princess Party requires registration.
Okay.
Voyager Princess, okay.
Are there any other questions or comments?
I'm sorry, you said, Lena, what did the teen and tween, is there a registration for that?
Yes.
For all of them?
Yeah,
Okay.
but D&D's been an ongoing campaign, so that registration closed like a while ago.
Okay, yeah, the D&D is popular.
Yeah.
I had noticed the same thing, that the tween and teen, you're getting more people than we've been getting.
Yeah, that's good.
Giving out food? No.
I should.
That's usually an attraction,
That's for sure.
but now you're doing something.
That's
right.
great.
Thank you.
Okay. If there are no other questions, we will move on to the director's report.
Hello. I've had a month of meetings since the last time I saw all of you. Some some noteworthy updates from those meetings. Most notably, the Directors Roundtable, which we haven't done in person since COVID. So that is very exciting that I actually got to go outside and view another library. It was very interesting. Some updates that might affect yourself as a library user and that you should just be aware of as trustees. We are going to, CW Mars as a whole is going to start purging library accounts that have been inactive. We have traditionally done this at the 8 to 10 year mark anyway. But if there were fines on the account, then we left it alone. Now, if the fine is under $200 and the card has been inactive, so they haven't used it for online or anything like that, there has been no activity for 2 years, they are going to start purging those accounts.
2 years, not 10.
Correct. Under $200 of fines and then 2 years. CW Mars has been doing push notifications fairly frequently recently. We've noticed an uptick of people calling us and being like, I got an email that said they're going to get rid of my account. So they're doing everything possible to make people aware that they need to update their accounts before they're purged. And if they're purged, it's not that big a deal. You're just your library card number. The old one won't work. You can just come into the library and we'll make you a new one. That's fine. But if you are particularly attached to your library card number because you've memorized it or whatever, you want to make sure that that's active. On a similar note, they are going to, during COVID, they had gotten rid of the blocks for Libby. So like if you had a $10 fine or your account was expired, your physical library card account, you could still use Libby with your library card. They are going to start enabling those blocks again. So my staff mostly will just have to deal with that when people start calling, why can't I use Libby? But it's just something to be aware of. That was pretty much everything that pertained to you, friends. Upcoming things we have going on. We have all of our standard joys of cribbage and film discussion groups and book clubs and fiber clubs. Our adult craft for October, the Tuesday night is currently full, but there is still room in the Thursday night. We are making folded book turkeys just in time for your Thanksgiving plans, or if you just happen to love a turkey. We have 3 spaces left in that one. It is registration required, so call us or hop online and do it yourself, whatever works for you. Our Boo Bash is happening once again this year. That's going to be Saturday, October 26th. That we will close the library from 3 to 4 while we get the big switcheroo ready, and then we will be open until 6. By then, most of the other events happening that night will be in full swing. We are currently looking for volunteers. If there's anyone who'd like to sign up on our website, we need help passing out game prizes and supporting the craft table and probably just helping us wrangle in the chaos that will ensue. It's marketed towards all ages, but most of the things are for the younger crowd, but we support anyone coming and hanging out with us. And costumes are encouraged, so come and enjoy. Some other fun events that we have coming up that are unique. We have What's on Your Thanksgiving Plate. That's going to be happening on Thursday, November 7th at 6 p.m. It's actually a local author who approached us. They had just written a book about sort of salacious food history, and we figured Thanksgiving's the perfect time to talk about that. So there's some really weird history surrounding the food that we eat, and so if you're interested in that, come on down. We are also still currently collecting puzzles for our big puzzle swap. We're going to stop collecting puzzles November 1st, mostly because we will probably have reached capacity by then. We certainly have currently, quite a few already. So for those of you who need a refresher, the way the puzzle swap works is you bring a puzzle that you know is complete, but you have already done, and you bring it to the counter, and we trade you that puzzle for a ticket, and for every puzzle that you bring in, you get more tickets, and then the day of the puzzle swap, you can use those tickets to quote-unquote purchase a new-to-you puzzle. And we have a variety of different skill level puzzles. So we accept everything, people come in with their kids and stuff. So if you've got like a 10-piece puzzle, that works too. If you have a 2,000-piece puzzle, great. Sounds wonderful. That will be Friday, November 8th, and it'll be running from noon to 5. So that's mostly what's going on there. It's not written here, but the friends did meet. I just didn't happen to be at that meeting in September. Mostly what I know that came out of that is they are now doing their fudge fundraiser for the fall. So we are accepting orders for fudge. The date to get them in by, I believe, is November 18th. It does sound right. Yes, Monday, November 18th, and then you can pick up your orders on Saturday, November 23rd, just in time for the holiday. There's wonderful seasonal flavors on there, so make sure to get on that. Speaking of holidays, the library is going to be closed Monday, November 11th, and Thursday, November 28th. That's when we will be closed, but the library is going to be closing slightly earlier than normal on the Wednesday, November 27th. We'll be closing at 5 p.m. In September, we had 7 lobby pickups and 6 home deliveries, and we had 19 volunteer hours.
And you also had 11.
Yes, the adults had 11 adult programs, and we had 58 people in attendance.
Okay. Any questions?
I have a question about the day the Boo Bash. If it rains,
Absolutely.
is the organization that does the parade and so forth, are they moving it to the next day?
I have no idea
So
what the other organizations are doing. There's so many different things happening and different people in control of those.
yeah,
We will have our Boo Bash Rain or Shine,
okay.
so people are more than welcome to come and hang out with us.
Because the Boo Bash is all
It's inside.
indoors.
Yeah, the Boo Bash is completely inside the library, so we have the ability to do that. I'm unsure what the
Okay.
backup plans are for the other events in town.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Seeing no other discussion, we can move on to circulation.
Circulation had a little dip, but that's a standard thing that happens in September. And it is not that far off from what it was last year at the same time of year.
All right. Any questions?
No.
All right. E-content?
Same thing. There was a much smaller dip there, but it's well over what it was last year. Well over.
Nice. Okay. And budget?
Budget is good. Part-time is below average, which always makes me happy when it's like that.
But that does not mean that you were in need of people that could not come in. You covered the library for all the required hours.
Yes.
It just happens to be a little below average and in
Oh,
good shape.
yeah, that just means that I worked a whole week of split shifts, but it's fine. It's all fine. That fluctuates. Sometimes it's well over, sometimes it just happens at this moment to be slightly under by 0.3%. And there was a holiday, so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Questions?
No.
Okay. So we go on to state aid.
Yes. So we made a few purchases since the last time we met. We renewed our website for the final time because we have 1 year left with it. When I have an update on that situation, I will give it to you. But currently, Piper Webbs has been giving us suggestions of other options, and so the other directors and I in the area who also use Piper Webb are weighing our options. It's going to be very difficult to find someone who does as much as they do for this reasonable price of $375 a year.
The princess party
Yes.
deposit, didn't the Friends pay that?
I believe, was there did you have to put forward a down payment and then you have to pay the VAT balance?
For which one? Yeah, so one of these is a full payment and then one of them is a deposit.
But I thought the Friends paid the deposit.
I think they agreed to pay a deposit, and the deposit is the same as the other half of the bill. It's just split in half. I think timing-wise, I just paid it.
I was just curious, just
Yeah.
matter.
You guys are more than welcome to pay the second half of the bill. More than welcome. Where am I? Where'd my brain go?
Piper Mountain.
Yes. And then we paid for our movie licensing so that we can show movies within the library. Lena has been stepping up her game in that area. Toby and I sort of got lax with that, so we're putting that movie license to good use.
Good.
We had the appraisal program, and then we also had the composting program.
Okay. The gifts line item or report.
Gift has no change currently.
Okay. And next is the COVID recovery.
COVID recovery. So we had to purchase a new youth services laptop. The current youth services laptop just keeps shutting off for absolutely no reason and freezing and taking 6,000 years to turn on in the morning. So,
Yep.
so we have purchased a new one. It should arrive soon, hopefully. I mean, I got a bill, so I'm assuming it's going to show up. And then it's not reflected here because I just did it today, but I purchased new chairs for the meeting room. There's going to be 10 new armless chairs to accommodate people of every size. And then there will be, I think I started with 4 chairs that have arms to them for people who need support lifting themselves out of a seated position. But they're all going to be cushioned. So.
And they're for the meeting room, you said?
Yes.
Not outside, not the lobby area?
No, these ones are for the meeting room. We've had a number of complaints for people who are sitting there in programs that are longer than half an hour, that those plastic chairs are a little hard on their bones. So we're trying out some cushioned ones instead.
All right. Questions?
No.
Okay. Any new business? Other than scheduling a meeting and a reminder that our town meeting is coming up this Monday at 7 p.m. Okay, and
And an additional reminder that the November meeting is also the director's review.
yes.
I know.
So you will be getting the form from me.
Okay.
All right. So, what are we looking at for a date? So 4 weeks from now is November 13th. Thanksgiving is the 28th. So we've got a couple of weeks to play with in there.
13th is fine with me, if it works for you.
I have to leave by 2 p.m. on the 13th.
So how about the 20th?
That would work with having Pam here.
Okay, yeah, Pam will be here, okay.
Okay. So we can schedule our next meeting for 3 p.m. on November 20th. Okay. Anything else? All right. I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second it.
All in favor?
And what time do we have?